What's up, Geeksters? It's me, Omar from geeksterlabs.com. How you guys doing today? Well, today I have another video in my series of FDR-AX33 videos. That is the model that we're talking about right here. This is Sony's newest consumer 4K camcorder that they just released not too long ago. And so I have a bunch of different videos I'm going to be posting for this particular camera, and so this is the second video in that series of videos. The one I've already posted earlier was my unboxing. So today I'm going to be giving you guys a full tour of this complete camera. I'm going to show you every single nook and cranny, every port and button on this camera, just so you guys know exactly what you're getting into if you are interested in purchasing this camera. Just want to give a shout out to 42nd Street Photo for sending me this camera to review for you guys and to show you this. Go check them out at 42photo.com, okay? So like I said, this is the Sony Handycam FDR-AX33, and it's one of their first 4K cameras that they have available for the consumer. This camera retails for a little under $1,000. And it has some pretty cool features that are a little bit up to par with some of the prosumer cameras, and I'll show you what those are in a few seconds, okay? So let's get into the camera. All right, guys, so let me start off by saying that since this is a full tour of the actual camera and the physical body of it itself, I'll let you know this camera has a little bit of weight to it. It is not a light camera. I'm not exactly sure how many. I think it probably weighs a little over a pound, but it has some heft to it, especially with this battery pack that's sticking out here, as you can see. So first off, let me go ahead and show you the bottom section here. So as you can see, that it's pretty easy to get the battery on and off. You just slide that part off, and it easily comes right off of that there. There's the battery itself, pretty large battery. I'll give you guys details as far as what the battery life is on that particular, the model that this one is using. But of course, if you want to purchase additional battery packs, you can probably do that. We have our screw right here for the tripod mount. It's kind of odd how it's really close to the front of the camera. And normally I would think it would be more towards the middle of it, but this one is off from the front. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work when I start testing it out and see. Maybe it's just balanced better, but to be quite honest, it feels like most of the weight is in the back because that's towards where the battery is. So it does have that tripod mount right there. Really easy to get to, and it'll fit your average tripod, the same exact screw that most of them come with, okay? So let's get into the flap. So when you open the flap, it automatically turns on, which is pretty nice. So here's some buttons right here. We have some openings and ports. So let's talk about these and get right into that. I'm not going to go into the menu system of the camera because that's going to be a separate video. Like I said, this is just a regular tour. As you can see, this does have a nice touch screen right here, and you can there you go. So you can actually get into the system, everything. It's all through the touch, which is pretty nice. It has a speaker right here on the bottom, which is pretty loud. You can adjust it, turn it off if you don't want to hear all the sounds and things like that. But that those are options that are available in the menu system. One of the first buttons I'll show you here is the off button. So if you do want to have the flap open, but you want to turn it off, you can press that little button right there. It'll shut it off, no problem whatsoever. Next one we have is night shots, so you can do some cool night shots with this. I'll give you guys demos of that in later videos. And then we have the play button if you want to preview the footage that you just recorded or preview any photos or pictures you've taken with this, because as it says in the front, this does have a 20.6 megapixel camera built into it. So if you want to preview any of those pictures and photos, you can do so by pressing that button right there. On the back right here, or on the very top I should say, is a really cool button, or a really cool option right there. This is a My Voice canceling button, and I can't wait to give you guys a demonstration of how this works. Really cool idea. Basically what that does is when you engage that, it kind of blocks any kind of audio coming from the camera, the person that's taking the video. So if I'm holding the camera and if I'm at a birthday party or whatever, like some party or something, videotaping something, whenever you talk, it's going to kind of do its best, the microphone's going to do its best to cancel out your voice, so that way it'll just focus on the audio in front of you. But what a really cool thing about that I think would be really awesome is if you're at an event, at a presentation or something. I've seen many times when people have footage of stuff that's going on in front of them, but then you have people loud or noises or people talking behind you, and you pick up all of that audio because they're closer to the camera than whatever it is that you're filming in front of it. So this will do a good job of blocking out that back noise, all the noise coming from behind the camera, and that's really cool. But it is good that it's not like a main normal feature, because I would assume that probably takes a little more battery life in order to do all that canceling and to blocking out that noise. But that's that button right up there. So that is the voice canceling, the My Voice canceling button right there. As you see, we have a nice little door. This is where the SD card goes in. Pop it open. We have one SD card slot. It would have been nice if there would have been two in there, but it only comes with one. You can use SD-XC cards, and since you are shooting 4K, or if you do want to shoot 4K with this camera, which it is able to do, you're going to need to have an SD card that can shoot at higher megabytes per second, so something that's like 90 megabytes per second, which is a little bit more expensive. Those cards are usually over $50 or so, depending on the brand that you're going to get. And the bottom here we have the HDMI port. pop that open. We have a little mini HDMI. As you can see, there's another port over there for other cameras. Sony has other camcorders that also feature a projector built into the actual flap on the back of the LCD. So for those, there's an extra port right there, and that's what you would use to plug in like a Blu-ray player or something to actually use the projector with other devices. This one doesn't feature that projector, so that port is not accessible, but that's what that little spot is. So if you notice that on your camera, there's nothing wrong with it. That's just something that made available for other cameras, because I'm sure they use the same body for a multiple variety of models and such. So those are all the different things on the inside of the panel right here. Alright, so let's move our way to the top. So as you can see here, we have our select button. So if you want to switch from shooting video to shooting photos, you press that button right there, and then whenever you're viewing for there to take the pictures, you press that photo button. I believe in certain settings, when you're shooting video, you can also take still photos if you want to in the middle of your videos. We have our zoom right here, easy zoomed rocker. This has a 10 times zoom built into that, so that's pretty nice. Here's our multi-interface shoe. So if you pop that open, slip it to the side. So what we have here is very special, because I have not reviewed one of Sony's cameras in quite some time, but normally what they usually have is their active interface shoe, which is much smaller, which actually has some serial ports inside which allow you to connect accessories to it. If you notice inside here, see if I can get a good angle at it and get you guys there. If you notice inside there's actually a terminal in there. So certain accessories that will work with the multi-interface shoe can actually plug in, and you can actually connect to the camera through the shoe. So if you have like a light, or let's say like a microphone, you can plug in a microphone. You don't have to physically plug the microphone into the actual camera itself, because it'll connect through that serial port that's right there. So the cool thing about this, though, is that since it is a full size, like a cold shoe, the same size shoe that you would have like on a DSLR camera, I have an example right here. You can use pretty much any accessory that works with a regular cold shoe. So if you have a light, an LED light, if you have a boom mic, if you have other accessories you want to attach on there, you can pretty much use anything that normally works with a regular cold shoe like you would have on a DSLR camera. So that's a really cool thing that they actually made that a little bit larger, and that'll work with a variety of other accessories. Those won't plug into the camera system itself, because they won't plug in with that unless they're specially made for that. But if you have other general things like lights and stuff like that, that would be really nice to be able to actually at least be able to attach them to that without having to use an adapter. I'm assuming this is a newer shoe that they're using on some of their cameras. Up here we have the microphone. It's a 5.1 channel surround sound microphone, and it does actually show you the levels while you're filming on the actual LCD screen. So that's kind of nice. Nice big microphone up there. It does a really good job picking up audio. I'll give you guys samples of that later on in the actual full review itself. Here's another cool feature. If you do want to save yourself a little bit of battery life, and you don't want to use the actual the screen right here, if you pop this out, you can actually utilize the actual viewfinder, and then you won't suck up as much battery, because you won't have to actually be using the flap with the screen. So when you pull it out, it has a digital display inside there. You have a little diopter, or the focus ring right here to adjust the focus if you need to change it depending on how your eyesight is from different people. You can do that, and when you're done with it, you just push it back in there, and it turns itself back off. Get to the back of the camera here. We have the power. The charge button, so that's the LED light letting you know when it is charging up. This is the button that you would press to start recording and stop recording. Bottom here we have a DC in. This is what you plug it in to charge up the battery on the back of the camera itself. Get to the side here, we have some really nice special features. So first off, we have the NFC little logo right there. So this is where you would tap your Android device that has NFC to be able to sync up to the camera if you do want to use the Wi-Fi capabilities. I will have a video demonstrating how to set that up and what kind of cool things you can do, like controlling the camera from your smartphone, and also sending pictures and images and video to your smartphone using the Wi-Fi features with this camera. So that's the NFC spot right there that you would be able to tap your phone to that, and it would actually sync up to it really quickly. Here's a really cool feature that I love, that when the camcorders feature this. So here we have the microphone in, which is actually does offer plug-in power. So if you're using like a boom mic or something that needs a little bit of power, this will actually power it up. And then we have the audio out. So if you want to monitor your audio with some headphones, and you're using the boom mic on here, you can actually plug that into the bottom right there, which is really nice. Not too many cameras at this price point, about $1,000, most of the camcorders do offer that, but there's still probably a few that don't even have the part for the headphones, which is always nice, especially for those of you that are going to be using any kind of external microphones. You want to be able to make sure that the audio coming into it is going to be clean audio. So that's a really cool feature. Next, underneath that, we have the multi-in, so that's a micro USB, and you can use a variety of adapters to plug this into your DVD player, your television, to watch videos off of that, or HDMI cables and things like that work with that multi out right there. So that's that little flap right there. Here we have a really cool thing, which is the USB cable. So if you don't have a USB cable with you or an SD card reader to pop out the SD card, you can actually plug it straight into your laptop, and you can take off the video footage or the photos that you've taken with the camera right off the bat. You don't have to carry a USB cable with you. So that just tucks right into the strap right here, which is very nice. All right, get to the front right here. So of course, because this is, as it says right here, it has a 15x clear image zoom, which is basically like digital zoom, but it actually offers 10x optical zoom. And so like most of Sony's camcorders for I don't know how many years, this does feature a Zeiss lens. It's a wide angle lens. And so one of the cool things, let me pop this open so you can see this. This is probably one of the coolest features of this camera is its image stabilization. So as you can see there, the lens is actually moving. So that way, no matter if I'm running or walking, the image quality is going to be stay steady. So that's just cool. I could stare at that for days. That just looks so awesome. It's actually moving and making sure that whatever it's focused on is in frame and not bouncing around all over the place, which is probably one of the bigger issues that people have using cameras that aren't used to filming things or using cameras on vacations and stuff like that. You see people's home videos and they're bouncing around, they're moving around because they don't know how to hold a camera very steady. Well, this does all the work for you, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. So I really look forward to showing you guys the kind of things that this thing could really do and how it could really make the experience of filming with it so enjoyable. So that's the stabilization right there. Close that up. As you can see, we have a nice ring, and this is one of the little prosumer little touches that they had to it. So this actually is a manual ring. So as you can see, there's a button to engage that manual options. You can actually program that to do a couple different things. But if you want to get some really cool soft focus, if you want to pull focus, if you want to do some manual zoom or iris and things like that, that's what you would use this ring with. So it does offer some slight manual options right there, which is kind of cool for those of you that do want to get a little artistic with your videos. You do have some of those capabilities with this. Not the same as you would with a prosumer camera or like a DSLR camera or any of those other ones, but still it is something. It's more than not having that option at all, because a lot of camcorders don't even give you any kind of like manual ring and things like that. So really cool that they include that in there. On the bottom we have the IR blaster right there, so that works with the remote. You probably can barely see that, it's right there. And that is pretty much everything. So guys, if I have missed anything, or if you have any questions about any of the other ports and things I've showed you, post them down below in the comments. Like I said, this is just my second video in my series of videos I'm going to be doing on this camera. So I'm going to give you guys some sample footage with it. I'm going to show you guys demonstrations on this image stabilization, setting up the Wi-Fi, and then of course at the very end I'll be giving you my full review of what I think of this camera. But so far I've been pretty impressed with the FDR-AX33 camera from Sony, and I can't wait to show you more videos. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to stay up to date and get those videos in your sub box and check those out as they come out. And if, like I said, if you have any questions, post them down below, and I read each and every comment in all of my videos, and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as possible. Thanks for watching, guys.